Hi, I'm Andy Savage. Welcome to One Man and His Meeple. Today I'll be playing Alban Viard's Tramways. In solo Tramways, you're building and upgrading a tram network to transport the citizens of a small city from their homes to work, leisure and back again. The objective is to amass happiness points while keeping stress to a minimum. Money accrued during the game is useful, but only if you can make the right connections and journeys, and some of those journeys will increase the citizens' stress levels. Remember, the more stress abounds in the city, the more happiness points you will lose in the final assessment. Okay, so let's play. Okay, so our random map consists of the B, the F and the G star tiles, and we have got parcel stops B1, B2, G1 and G3 in our opening hand, and all the other parcel stops are in there. We have a residential and an industrial, a double industrial area on the board already, but that's not many. I'd normally expect maybe 4 or 5 passengers ready on the board. But nevertheless, I like to start building early, and I like to build industrial early, so we'll see how that goes. We can introduce some more passengers. In the solo game, you start with 1 stress there on that board. You start with $3, and you start with 6 cards in your hand. And before we start, we're allowed to take one of these cards from the D deck. There's 2 small D decks, 3 cards each. The top one face up, and we can just look through. We can pick a pile, look through, and take the card we want. I think I'm going to look through this pile. No, I'm going to look through this pile because I definitely want to make sure that by the end of the game, although it's a long way off, I want to make sure I've got one of these leisure destinations in my hand so that I am able to run a leisure route to collect a lot of happiness points at the end with all the money we hope to accrue. So we'll look through this deck and pick one of these cards. I think I'm going to take this one. Even though I like this one, it's got the leisure stop and it has a worker back and it has a $1 bonus on there. I'm going to take this one because we don't have an industrial icon in our hand either. So I'm going to take that one. So then we shuffle those for what it's worth, put one back there. Worth noting, we can also get an industrial icon by building a residential block. Okay, so with that, setup is complete and we can move on to the auction. I call it the auction. It's not really an auction in the solo mode. We turn over the first card here. Now we can either take that one for 1 stress. That would be a bad card because it's a void ticket and it means we have to immediately discard from our hand, which is bad. So what we can do then is pay $1 to see the next card. Now we can either take that one for 1 stress or that one for free. And I'm going to go straight ahead and just take that one and increase our stress levels by 1. This icon, like the one we've already got there, means we can get back one of our railway workers at the end of the round. And we need to use these to build rails, so they're useful. Now we have a hand limit of 7, and that's the limit you draw up to at the end of the turn. We've actually got 8 cards in our hand at the moment, and that's okay. So as I said, I'd like to build that immediately earns us happiness point, 1 happiness point for building. And I'd like to build an industrial site because that increases our hand limit to 8. So we need to pick which one of our parcel sites we're going to build on. I think it looks like play is going to be concentrated over this half of the map, especially at the start. So let's build in B2. Okay, so there's the building card and there's the B2 parcel card. So this would be our discard pile over there for now. So we get 1 happiness point for building, and we're going to build this industrial. So we get that card, and that tile goes onto B2 there. And then we fill that with a passenger, ready for journey. So we have 2 action rounds, and in the first action round you can do 1 action, in the second, or take $2. And in the second action round you can take 2 actions, or you can take $2 for one of those actions. So it's going to be useful to build some tram lines. So we could link up our 2 industrial zones. We need the I for the end route, and we're going to need 3 rails to build up here, or probably that way is better because it leaves this section of the map open. So 3 rails. So that's a double rail, 1, 2, and let's use that one for the third. Two, 3 rails like that, and we have to use one of our railway workers to build that. Now there's not a whole lot we can do. We can't run a tram from either of these because we need a card with an I icon on it, an industrial icon. So I'm probably just going to take $2 for my second action. Now we get to spend as many of these cards as we want for these icons. So we can take $4 and our railway worker back. And if we like, we can discard 1 card for free, and then we can discard extra cards for $1 each. But I want to keep hold of that one. So I'm not going to discard any. Then we refill passengers that have travelled from residential areas. There are none that have travelled, so we just remove that icon and move the round marker onto the second round. Then we refill our hand up to, well, we built an industrial area, so our hand limit increases to 8. So we can refill our hand to 8 cards. Now we've got 1, we just shuffle our discard pile. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is our deck, what's left of it. We remove that one from the game and we move into the auction again. One other thing, we didn't run a rail, we didn't run a passenger service, so we don't increase our stress. So again, we've got another void ticket. I guess it's okay to get these out of the way. We can happily pay $1 to look at the next card, and that's a parcel space. Now that will, if I take that one, that will give us the G2 parcel space there, which might be easier to build into than say B1, which is pretty much surrounded by mountains. So I can take that one for 1 stress, or we could pay $1 to see what the next card is, which I'm going to do. And that's the F2 parcel space, which has a railway upgrade on it, a tram line upgrade. On the flip side of these is the upgraded line, which means we get 50% extra money every time a passenger travels on those rails. That's the F2 stop, that's over there. I think I'm now going to just take the G2 one. We take that one without stress because it wasn't the most recent card. We discard those cards. Now because we took a new parcel space, we put a counter on there, which means we're allowed to build on it. Now we have a build card back in our hand, so we could build any of these, but another industrial area will increase our hand limit to 9, give us more options. And I'd also like to build more rails, and I'd like to run a railway, run a tram. We have an I icon this time, so we can do that. So for our 3 actions this round, I'd like to see if we can build a new station, build some rails, and run a service to get some more happiness points and some money. Okay, I think what I'd like to do is build on G2 a commercial district. So that's that card for the build and that card for G2. So on G2, I'm going to build this commercial district. So that card goes to our hand and that passenger appears on there. And now I'd like to build some rails to link in the commercial district into our network here. So if we use this card as the end point and this one for 2 rails, we can build like that into the connect the commercial district into the industrial area, and that costs us 1 worker. When we build a commercial district, our happiness goes up by 1. And then finally for this round, our 3rd action, I would like to run. If we run the passenger from the commercial district to the industrial, well, he'd have to run to there. He'd have to stop there immediately, and we can get our railway worker back. If we run the other way, if we run this industrial, this guy from the industrial area all the way around to the commercial district, we can take one of these cards or take $5. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Even though this round the commercial district would be refilled, I think I'm going to do it this way. So we need a destination with a C and any ticket. I'm going to use that one because that doesn't have an icon. We can play at the end of the round. So this passenger travels through 2 links and ends up in the industrial zone. So we get 2 happiness points for the 2 links, and then we get $1, 2, 3, 4, $5 for the rails he uses. And because we traveled to the commercial district, we're allowed to take one of these cards from the D decks. It does increase our stress though. So now I'm going to look in this deck purely because there are still more cards in there. We have this one which gives us a railway worker back, this one that I think allows us to fill any station with a passenger, and this one that will give us $3. These 2 both have rails on. Now, do we have a card with the leisure on? I'm going to take that one. I'm going to take I'm going to take that one just for the money. So we'll leave that one face up. So that's our 3 actions, but now we can play cards for these other icons. So $3, $5, $7, and a worker back. So $5, $6, $7. And we can discard that one for free if we want to, but I think I'm going to keep hold of that. We move the round marker on. We would refill any commercial zones with passengers, but there aren't any that are empty. And then we draw back up to 9 cards this time. So we've got 1 in our hand, 1 from the deck, that makes 2, and then we shuffle the discard pile. $3, $4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2 cards left in the deck unseen. Now onto the auction. So that's the first card. I'm going to pay $1 to see the second card. Just a plain ticket that also increases stress, so that's not great. Pay $1 to see the third card. Now we can go on. No, it should have been $2 to see the second card, see the third card. But I'm just going to take that one, which I probably should have done before paying for the extra. Never mind. We have $15, which is not a bad amount of money for the third round. So I think it would be a good idea to build a leisure area this round. So we'll put aside our build card and our leisure card. So that can be one action. And then connect it up with some rails. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to run to that as well. But that's okay. We don't really want to run to the leisure area until the end. Now the question is, do we put it here on G3? We've got the card for G3. Or do we put it on B1? We haven't got the card for G1. Now, if we... That's not the card I need to put aside. That will be the card I need to put aside. Actually, G3 we've already built on, and B2, so it's going to have to be B1. So we'll build on B1, and we're going to build this leisure area up there. That's 1 happiness point, and that card gets added to our hand. So now we need to connect it into our network. So let's take this for 2. To build on the mountains, this square means mountains. It costs 1 extra rail to build on there. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3. Now we can build across a parcel stop that we own, so that's okay. And then if we decide to build here later, that rail just goes and it's connected in, so that's fine too. But I wonder if we want to put it at this end of the network. I like having a loop, and then you can run passengers all the way around for maximum happiness points and maximum money. They still have to stop at the first station they find, so you can't send a passenger from here through this industrial zone to that industrial zone, but that's okay. Let's go build 2 rails to this industrial. So 2 rails to this industrial. That's 1, 2 rails, so that's connected in nicely. Our new leisure area should have got a passenger as well. So now we can send that passenger all the way around to the commercial area, picking up 3 happiness points and $1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, $7 and a new card for the cost of 1 stress. Except we have no longer got a ticket destination for the commercial district. So what I'm going to do is send this passenger all the way around there to the leisure area, I think, the leisure district, which I can do with this destination ticket, destination card, and this is his ticket. So he's going 1, 2, 3 links. So that's 1, 2, 3 happiness points, and $1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, $7. $6, $7. Now, when you send a passenger to the leisure area, you can spend an amount of money for happiness points, basically. And for $15, we could buy 5 happiness points. And for $21, we can buy 6. Now, there's diminishing returns. The more money you spend, the less proportionally happiness points you get. So it's better to send passengers frequently to the leisure area rather than one big hit. For example, if I've got $36 and I do it in one trip, I get 8 happiness points. If I do it in 4 trips, I could spend 10, 20, 30, which would be 12, and then 6 would be 15. So almost double the happiness points doing it in 4 journeys instead of 1. I think what I'm going to do here is go for a happy medium and spend $15 for 5 happiness points. No, I'm going to spend 10 for 4 happiness points. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's our 3 turns. So we can spend these cards for $3, $5, $7. And we may discard one of those for nothing if we want to, but I'm going to keep hold of those. We move the round marker on and we refill any industrial areas. Then we refill our hand. So we have 2 in our hands, 3, 4, 5 from our deck, and we have to shuffle. Six, 7, 8, 9. Now I connected in a railway, so we have to spend that worker. Now on to the kind of auction phase. Another build. Let's pay $1 to see the next card. That's not bad. That's got 3 different destination icons on. Let's pay $1 just so we don't increase our stress and take that one. Those cards are discarded. Now this time I'm wondering about connecting in this residential area over here, or building a residential area in G1. So we'd need 5 rails to connect this guy in. Which would be a nice income. Have we got 5 rails? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 there. Without, we could use this card for extra rails, but it was going to increase our stress to use extra icons on this card. So we can do that. But then we can't run to it because, oh, we can, because we'll still have this one. And that one. So that would be one action. Then we'd have enough for 2 journeys. Okay, let's do that. So with R as our destination, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rails. So we're going to connect up this commercial district all the way out here to this residential area out in the suburbs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rails. That's our first action. Now, we could send this guy from the leisure area all the way out to this recreation area. Oh, we get... No. Four. It's going to get us 4 happiness points and a whole bunch of money if we do that. We don't have any rail upgrades. And if we send a passenger out to the residential area, our stress is decreased. So, and then we could send the guy from the residential area back to the industrial, back to the leisure area, and top up some happiness points. We have to spend our other engineer. So let's send this guy from the leisure area through to the residential area. So 1, 2, 3, 4 links. So that's 4 happiness points. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, $11. And then we can send this passenger all the way back, but this is not going to get refilled. At the end of this round, this commercial district is going to get refilled with passengers, and at the end of the 5th round, the industrial area is going to get refilled with passengers. So I like the idea. We don't earn as much money this way. No, we're going to do it this way. We'll send this guy. So 1, 2, 3, 4 links. So what it is, it's going to send ticket, 1 card for the ticket and 1 card for the leisure. So we're sending this guy through 1, 2, 3, 4 links. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, we don't count that one twice. So another $11. And we can buy some more happiness points. When the first passenger went around to the residential area, our stress was decreased, so that journey that way. So we have 10, 20, 30, $39. Now, how many more trips are we likely to be able to make? I'm looking for these red leisure icons. We might have a couple. Let's spend $21 this time for 6 points. Takes us up to 26. So that's our 3 actions. We have no cards to discard this time, so we don't get any end of round bonuses. We're going to move that on and refill the commercial districts with passengers and fill up our hands. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there, our answer is we have 2 potential leisure destination icons. 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, I don't really think we need to build any more rails here. I think we're doing just fine. We don't really need to draw any more cards. So we can send 1 passenger round to the leisure area with those 2 cards. And we can probably save those cards for money at the end of the round. Now you do get victory points for completed links, but we don't have any rail workers, but maybe we can connect some in. Let's save those as well and send a passenger from here around to the residential just to decrease stress further. Okay, so first of all, we're going to send a passenger from the commercial area around to the, no, first of all, we're going to send this guy from the industrial area around to the residential stop. So 1, 2, 3 links, or 3 victory points, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, $9. And a reduction in stress, back down to the minimum. So that was those 2 cards discarded. Then for our second action, we're going to send, oh, wrong ticket. I meant to use that one for the R. This time we're going to send this passenger round to the leisure area. 1, 2, 3 links, so that's 3 happiness points, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rails, so $7. And again, we can spend an amount of money to earn some more happiness points. Now in the final round, you get to construct your hand from all your cards. So we can guarantee we've got both of our L tickets in there. So we know we've got 2 more goes at running passengers to there. And here we've got 10, 20, 30, 4. We're going to get another $7 there, make 41. So let's take, let's spend $15 now for another 5 happiness points, takes us to 37. And for our third action, I've got nothing to do, so I'm going to take another $2 instead. And then at the end of our turn, we're going to discard this for 3, 5, 7, and 2 rail workers back. So $7. And our 2 rail workers back, although I think it's unlikely we're going to use those. So no cards in hand. We move into the 6th round and we refill all the industrial areas. Now, like I said, the 6th round is slightly different. We don't have the auction and we don't draw our cards. We can look at all of our cards and construct our hand of 9 cards any way we like. So we definitely want these 2 for the L icons so we can run 2 services to the leisure area and max out our happiness points. What are we going to do for the third action? Well, let's stick 2 tickets with those as well. Every journey needs a ticket. So there's 2 tickets and 2 destinations. And what are we going to do for our third action? Well, any rail we build is going to be worth 3 victory points. Any complete link is worth 3 victory points at the end of the game, so or happiness points. So that's an option. We've got no upgrades, so we can't upgrade any of the buildings, and we can't upgrade any of the rails. Building a building will only get us 1 victory point. So I propose we connecting G1 here with a sneaky little 2-rail loop. That's one of the only ways you're allowed to put 2 rails on a single square. The other way is with a crossroads, like that. Would also be legal. What you can't have is, you can't have something like that. But this is fine, these two here. So that's, actually we shouldn't have started yet. Still constructing our hand. But that's what we're going to do for our third action. So that's 2, 4, 6 cards and any 3 to go with them, just to make 9 cards. Now those are all removed from the game. So with our 9 cards, those don't matter. We're going to build in these, as we said. So that's there. Those are discarded. Now we've got two runs round to the leisure. Now it's a shame we can't run from the residential area and max out these points, but we can still run this passenger over 2 links. So 1, 2. 2 happiness points and $1, 2, 3, 4, $5. And when we get there, well, we know we're going to get, what have we got here? 5, 10, 20, $33. We know we're going to get 5 more, so that's 38. So we could spend 36 with 15 and 21. Will get us 11. 28 and 10 will get us 11. 38. It doesn't really matter. So let's spend $15 this time for 5 happiness points. And then our second service is going to be this passenger going the same. 2 links for 2 happiness points and another $5. And then we're going to spend $21 for 6 happiness points, taking us round to 52. And then those cards are useless. We don't get to discard them at the end of the game. Now for final scoring, we take our happiness point total there and we add 3 points for every complete link. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So an additional 15 takes us up to 67. And then we lose 1 happiness point for each stress that we have on here. So if we were up here, we would lose 21 happiness points. But as it is, we only lose 1, taking us down to 66, which I think is my best score. Certainly close to my best solo score anyway. So the solo game of Tramways it's a pretty short, punchy little game. Doesn't take much setup and it doesn't take long to play. So that was Tramways. The solo game makes for an interesting optimization puzzle. For me, the strategy is generally similar. You increase your hand by building some industrial sites and then build towards a couple of residential runs to lower stress, and then once you have as much money as possible, make a leisure run or 2 to buy happiness points. I'd be interested to know if anyone has any vastly different strategies, so please comment if you do. Also, remember to like and subscribe here on YouTube and follow me on Twitter at @OneManMeeple and Andy Beta. There are links in the description. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.